everyone, and welcome to Moto 2 for Hakone for HRL Forza Elantra series. We've got Armada and Solange on the front row. Then we've got Roman and Opix. Row number 3, we're going to have Detail and Matt. And then running up the field, going to be Luke trying to make the drive from the back. And we're going green for another 14 laps around Hakone. And again, I expect a lot more action in this race. Solange hopefully not going to lag out of this one as long as he can stay in the lobby. I think we should be good for a pretty spicy race here. Armada going a little too wide early on in the first corner, so he got away from everybody, but again wasn't able to make it stick. So Solange gets back to his rear bumper, and Solange maybe looking to take the lead early from Armada. Let's see if he can. Whoa, really close right there. Matt trying to make room. 3 wide already down this back straight. You can see Solange up there going for the lead. Like I said, 4 wide for a moment. We'll see if they hold it. No, looks like Luke's going to back out on the inside, so now it's going to be Roman trying to make that work. But Opix through the middle is going to get the advantage. He's going to stay on that inside and maybe move into the podium spot, but Roman really aggressive on the inside. It's like a 3 wide behind them as well. Take a look at this. Roman trying to squeeze in, make it work. Matt going a little wide back there, trying to get back on track. Oh yeah, look at this action. Really good POI cam right there. Solange taking the lead up front. You can see it, got it from Armada. He's going to try to hold it, try to take advantage of the starting position. This is the one right side to his lag out, having the starting position for race 2. Matt going wide again, trying to reel it in here early on, but not too much to worry about. It is only the first lap down, but yeah, a lot of action early on. And like I said, I think we'll see that. I think this race should be pretty spicy compared to race 1. Moto 2 with the starting order always going to mix things up, but again, like the lag out too, Solange being further up than he probably would be, if he didn't lag out of the first one. So, and again, like the heavy draft factor, I think it should be very interesting, this race. So, keep an eye on all these battles. Again, it was really just like Matt and Detail in the first one, but I think we'll have a lot more than that here. So, yeah, try to follow it all the best that I can. Matt trying to stay close enough to stay in the draft. I do think he's barely got it there, but he does have a little bit of ground to make up still. Detail going just a little wide, but stuck the inside pretty well. Trying to make this move on Opix. A little wide on the entry right there too. Trying to get back down low. Here comes Luke with a big run from behind. Matt, and look, definitely gained a lot there in that section. Matt was super far behind, and now he's all the way back to Opix's bumper already. So can definitely catch back up. And Detail right there having a moment. And that's something you got to look out for on this track. When you get a little wide on that exit, you get on the brakes while you're on that rumble, while you're like sideways, it can really upset your car and send you out on the following corner, and that's exactly what happened to Detail there. So something that you have to look out for on this track. And again, it's not easy to do because you want to carry as much momentum in the corner before it as you possibly can, but when you try to do that, you often stretch it onto that exit rumble. But that exit rumble, most of those rumbles, like those inside rumbles, are pretty safe on this track. It's a lot of the exit rumbles like in the middle of the track that are a little dangerous, but most of the rumbles, like that one that got Detailed loose right there, are fine. But that particular one, again, is just dangerous because of the speed that you carry into it, and the fact that again, when you're on it, you tend to be like hitting the brakes as soon as you get on it, and you tend to be like a little sideways already. And a big moment here, big hit from behind from Matt. Oh no, into the sand too. Isn't able to keep it out of the sand. That's tough. Let's take a look at some replay action here on board with Armada, trying to get it slowed down, and unfortunately not able to. And this is a big checkup, I think, maybe because of the hards. I don't know if I think Armada was on hards though too, but I'm not 100% sure. I think all these guys might have been on hards. But here we have the rear facing from Matt with Armada behind. Although Armada does have Detail behind him too. He did have a little bit of breathing room though, to be fair. But maybe that's what happened with Armada. Like maybe spooked out by Detail behind and just wanted to, not get too hard on the brakes for him, but wanted to not hit Matt too, and just like ended up getting in a little too hot. But yeah, we got plenty of angles for this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Went hard on the replay action here. This is Luke's rear facing now, and you can see Matt just getting like sandwiched right there. And is the same deal for Matt that I think maybe Armada was experiencing. Like Matt trying to not, slam Luke too hard in front, but again, doesn't want to like brake check Armada either. And yeah, he just ends up being in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Tries to save it out of the sand, but he was already like sent off the wrong way. These cars, the way that they turn, when you're already like committed like that, it's not like a rear wheel drive where you can kind of like gas it and almost like spin it out, and like make that work. That's not really going to work in this car. So when you're in that situation like Matt, the only way to get it to turn really well is to actually like get on the brakes, or get off the gas and like coast it. That actually like works better. Like if you get on the gas, you're going to be more committed to where you're already like pointed, and where he was already pointed was the sand. So basically what I was getting at is like he's kind of screwed at that point. He's kind of screwed. Again, like if he was in the MX-5, if he was in a rear wheel drive car, maybe he could have had a chance at saving it. I still think it would have been pretty tough, to be fair. Even if he did save it, I still think he probably would have gotten in the sand a little bit. Just maybe like the impact of it would have been a little bit less. Like maybe he could have spun out with like just the rear tires in the sand instead of how it went with this car with like just being like fully committed to getting in the sand. So maybe it could have been a little bit better, but I don't think it would have made a big difference overall. But in general, just a shitty situation right there. Yeah, Ramda, I'm sure not, intending to do that. Just trying to get slowed down and trying to like stay in line, and overcooked it a little bit. So really unfortunate. It's going to suck for Matt. He's going to have a big regain here, but he has had a really good pace, and especially in the first race, he had really good pace. Yeah, he finished third, but he was right there at the end, super, super close, qualified second. So he's definitely got the pace. To get back into it, probably gonna need some battle help though. But to be fair, there is a really good chance that he will get that battle help, because take a look at the battling that we have on track right now. Big move right there for Luke to try to get around Slaunch. Let's take a look at a replay on that one. Lined up the pass pretty nicely there. Little bit of contact on the exit, but very, very slight. Here you can see it setting up the inside, and then just trying to hold that line all the way through to keep that momentum up, and to get around Slaunch right there. So big pass. Right there, Slaunch probably hoping to stay out front and stay with Roman a little bit longer, but Slaunch is on the hards, I believe. So Roman up front, I believe, is on the mediums. I think Detail is on the mediums. You see him in podium spot right there. I believe he's on the mediums there again as well. So those guys are on the mediums, but I believe Luke, Slaunch are on hards. Matt's on hards. I think Armada's on hards. So yeah, I want to say it's just Roman, Detail, Opix are on the mediums. So Slaunch getting passed up by Luke and Detail is not too bad right there, and as long as he can hitch a ride off their draft, it might actually work out for him. And that's the interesting. I talked a lot about like the different strategies with the draft being involved in the last moto, but another factor of it here too is like for Slaunch in this situation, just don't fight it too hard, right? Like you've got a pack coming up behind like really quickly. Don't fight it too hard. Just let them make that move, and then, get behind them. Get behind them, try to stay in their draft, use that to your advantage, and use that to keep you in the pack so that you have a better advantage, and that you're closer when you come out on the softs later. So, yeah, if Slaunch can successfully do that... Oh, might have a move for the lead here right now. Oh, my God. All over the track. Luke trying to find an opening on Roman, not able to find it. Oh, big impact right there. The entry as well, but yeah. So Slaunch, like I was saying, if he can stay in that draft, work out really well for him later, and I think he'll have the advantage on the soft. So keep an eye out for that. He's gonna try to do the same thing that Matt did in Moto 1. He's gonna try to have like that same type of scenario. Yeah, Luke trying not to waste time to get to the lead, but Roman defending really hard, not trying to leave any opening on the front stretch there. So going to have to settle in and look for another opportunity, although it may happen here. Again, this straightaway, the draft is going to last so long. Unless Detail takes advantage of his own opportunity, he's going to be in the draft here as well. And you can see he's tracking a little bit, but maybe just not close enough to Luke to make this move happen here. Yeah, looks like that's the case. Oh, Luke with a surprise move on the entry. Not going to go for it all the way, but maybe try to catch Roman off guard right there. At the very end, looked like he was going to stay in line, but then at the very end, sent it to the inside. Tried to show it a little bit, keep him guessing, but not going to go for the complete pass yet. But still, showing that opening and showing that potential right there. And there's an interesting difference. You see, I don't think Roman getting on the brakes at all in that corner, but Luke with a little bit of slight brake, showing the difference of the tire compounds right there. but also some differences in style, because I think Detail was getting a little bit of a slight break as well, but he is on the medium, so I think it's not just the tire compound thing. I think it is a little bit of a style difference too. You can hold a really good momentum in that corner with a little bit of slight break as well. It can help out your angle, so kind of depends on how you want to do it. Roman defending the inside really aggressively again, blocking that move from Luke. That opens up the door for Detail, and can he make a double pass happen here? Not going to quite get there, yeah. He's going to make the move on Luke. He's going to move up to second, but he's not quite going to be able to get to Roman, although it will maybe eventually be a double pass, because he does have the draft off Roman now. He's got a really nice run off of that corner as well. Take a look at this. Outside of the chicane, he's got a big run. Roman going to block that inside again. Detail going to reset and maybe show to the outside. Maybe going to go down low late. What's he going to do? He is going to go down low late. Roman going to leave the door open this time. Luke going to try to take advantage of the inside. Detail coming up the track, trying to take this spot, and he is going to do it. And this is a big pass too, because they're on their pit lap. I believe Detail and Roman should both be going in this time. So making the pass at that time is very important. So Detail going to get to the lead, making a big move on that lap, taking advantage of the defense from Roman, seeing the opening and making it into 2 passes on the same lap to the lead. But unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to take advantage of that clean air for long, because he's going to be going right into the pit. Just like I said, Roman and Detail and Opix as well should also be going into the pit. Yep, there you have it. On this lap, the hards runners of Luke, Slaunch, and Matt and Armada, we probably will not see them go into the pits for a while longer. So it's going to be a bit. It's going to be a bit before we see that out of these guys. Probably around like lap 9, 10, 11, somewhere in that range. So they're going to be on track a little bit longer. They're going to try to take advantage of the clean air that they have now, right? So, all this battle action, all this draft action, this is the interesting thing for the hards runners, is that now for a few laps, they're going to have clean air, and they're going to try to take advantage of that and try to put themselves in a good position for when they exit the pits on the softs later in the race. So this is the part of the race where the interesting aspect isn't necessarily the on-track action. This is where we're kind of watching like the qualifying action almost, right? Like there's not really going to be battles on track. It's single wide. We're trying to see who can put down the best laps possible with that clean air. Again, because it's important. Every little bit that they can gain here, if they can come out in front of like one more driver when they exit the pits, I mean, that's one less driver they have to make a pass on. That could be a huge difference later in the race. Roman with a nice lineup right here, a nice move, showing that he can do it clean, which makes you think, why can't he make passes like that more often? I don't know. It's an interesting question for sure, but he is going to make the move on Detail right there. And Detail, oh, that was close. Wow, super loose right there. Nice save out of Detail and getting right back to Roman's bumper, trying to keep the pressure on. Good battle between the two right now. And again, this is the virtual like battle for the lead. Although again, Luke was right there, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out on the softs. Armada into the pits this time by, so he's going in for his softs, I believe, for the last half of the race. Detail trying to stay close, trying to get a good entry here. And again, just trying to stay as close as he can, trying to keep that draft of Roman. As long as Detail can stay in the draft, stay close enough to stay in the draft, he will, keep this battle tight with Roman, and will be in the conversation. So that's all he's got to do, and I believe he does do that here just slightly. So he's not going to gain too much, but he just does just slightly stay in the draft here, I believe. So going to be picking up just like little by little. And now in this back half of the track, he's going to try to gain a lot. But we go on board with Slaunch as we see the pits for the hards runners are happening. Well, not for everybody. Not for everybody. Armada went in last lap. Now we have Slaunch going in this lap. And then it looks like Matt and Luke are going to be going in the next lap. So interesting calls out of the hards runners. The medium runners, they all pit exactly halfway, because that's, that tends to be the best play. That tends to be what you want to do. When you're running mediums, that tends to be the play. So they all pit on the same lap. They all just went straight halfway. But again, interesting for the hards runners that's not the case for them. They mixed it up a little bit. They're going to be quite a few varying strategies here with the pit lap. So I'll explain that. So basically, the downside, or I should say the upside first. The upside for Slaunch and Armada going in a lap earlier is that they get those softs like a lap earlier, right? Like the softs are the better compound. They are faster. And you know, maybe they'll have a chance of like jumping like Matt or Luke when they come out of the pits, right? Like a little undercut type action. So that's the advantage. The downside is that the softs do not have very good tire life, right? Like they have the most grip, but they don't last very long. So the at the end of the race, what's going to happen is Luke and Matt should be fine. Like I don't think they're going to have any tire wear issues with how long they're staying out in the hards. Like I think they're going to be totally fine. They're not going to have to worry about tire wear at all. Whereas Slaunch and Armada, they're going to have to worry about it a little bit. They're going to have to worry about it a little bit. Their tires are going to wear out a little bit earlier at the end, and that may cost them. So we'll see if the pros outweigh the cons there. Detail with a nice move around the outside, actually, to make the move on Roman. We're seeing a really good lead battle between them. But they do want to straighten it out here and try to settle down this battle a little bit if they can at the moment, because the pits are coming in. Luke and Matt are in, and looking at the gap, I think it's going to be really close on Luke's pit exits. So the battling for Roman and Detail, again, I don't know if it's going to help them out too much here because they need to make sure they come out in front of Luke because, again, Luke's going to be on the softs. If he comes out in the lead, it's going to be really hard for them to take that back if they're not at least like in the draft. And there it is. Luke comes out of the pits in the lead. Let's get the look. Where does Matt come out? And again, still trying to recover from that sand trap issue. Right behind Opix. Still, so like pretty far back, but he is in the softs. He has really good pace. I don't think this is necessarily over for Matt. He's probably going to need a little bit of... He's probably going to need some big battle action to help him out, but it's not necessarily over. So here we go. So Luke did come out of the pits in front, but did not have the momentum. And look at this. It actually worked out really well for Detail and Roman. They were able to stay just close enough to where they got the draft, so they do still have a chance here. And here we go. Luke going to try to protect that inside. Detail with the run. And here we go into the big braking zone. Luke going to have, obviously, the advantage in the turn on those softs, going to be able to defend it. That doesn't work out too well for Detail, as obviously he had the least preferred line, trying to keep it clean there. And it's going to be a close battle still between Detail and Roman for second. I think Luke should be able to, as long as he can get a big enough gap here before they get back to that big straightaway, he should be able to get away on the softs here. Again, like it's going to have to take some heavy lifting out of Detail and Roman to stay close enough behind him. But you can see the gap. You can see it on the ticker. You can see it just slightly going up, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like Luke's able to take advantage of the section of the track that he should be able to with most of the turns and build that gap enough to where he should be able to get away from the draft and hold on to that lead. So looking pretty good for a sweep here at Hakone, but the battle for the podium is still raging on, and it's still really spicy too. Detail trying to hold on to that second place, but Roman literally glued to his bumper, and, you know, bring out the Jaws music right now. Slaunch is not done. Again, he did pit a little bit early, so on the last lap, his tire wear might be pretty rough, so we do have to keep that in mind. But right now, it's working out. He's getting really close on those softs. He's running really good times, and he's starting to make up for, you know, those hard slaps earlier in the race, and he's staying in the conversation, and he wants to get a podium. He wants to get a podium. You know, Homestead was really, really rough. Not the races that he was hoping for. Every single Homestead race seemed like he had a decent shot. And then it just went away at the end of the race. Like every single end of the race, decent shot, and then something would happen and just goes away. But right here, making an inside move on Detail. Detail getting passed by Roman as well, so going to go from second to fourth. Not what he was looking for, but he is still right behind Slaunch. And what Detail needs to do here is play it smart, realize that Slaunch is on the softs, right? Slaunch will likely catch Roman. So all Detail needs to do is stay close enough to Slaunch that he'll stay in his draft, and he'll have an opportunity to pass Roman back, likely later in the race. So this is where the draft games get really interesting, right? And here we go. Crossing the line, this time by going to be 2 to go. So action really heating up here at the end. The strategies starting to cross over and starting to come into play. And I'm looking at Matt on the track map, 6 seconds off. And again, if there's some big cheese, he's going to need some help. But if there is some big cheese, he's not that far off. So let's keep an eye on that as well. See if he can finally get back in, trying to recover from that sand trap issue against still. The help from Randine. Trying to recover from that the best that he can. And it's a big hill to climb, but he's trying his best there and still in the game. If he can get some help from these other drivers. But here we go. This is what I was looking for. Again, Slaunch on the softs. Going to have a big run here with the draft as well on Roman. What does he decide to do? How does he decide to go for this move? Take a look at the gap, too. Luke is really checked out here. So, yeah, the lead should definitely be locked in. But the second place battle definitely is not. Slaunch He's going to try to slow it up. He's going to try to get back to the inside. Oh, a big slam. Where did Detail come from behind? Roman loose. And, oh, Detail trying to make the pass too. Let's take a look at a replay. What happened here? Detail made a big gain in the braking zone and gave Slaunch a massive shove on the inside into Roman. Roman gets really unsettled, but then goes back down to try to defend. And the drivers behind trying to stay committed to that. Man, that slows up both of them a ton. And somehow Roman gets away with it with a massive gap. How does he end up getting that far away with all that cheese? I don't know. But that is crazy. Big moment right there in the race. All of these drivers trying to, knowing that it's crunch time, trying to make the moves, trying to get back on the podium. And here we go for the white flag. Last time around, Detail trying to line it up. Still not giving up on this battle with Slaunch again. Detail is probably going to be dealing with tire wear here at the end of the race, but Slaunch did go in a bit early for the softs, so he will likely be dealing with it as well. So it's not over for Detail, but he does likely need to make the pass in that big braking zone after the long straightaway. If he doesn't make the pass there, I think with Slaunch on those softs, it's going to be really hard for Detail to make the pass later in the lap. So he really needs to make the pass there and then defend for the rest of the lap. Roman probably has the second place locked up at this point. That massive gap, that big moment, I think it's going to be too much for these guys to overcome at this point. Too far for them to get there. Take a look, Matt. Still, take a look at the track map. Making up time still. And yeah, if there's any type of wreck or anything, still in the conversation. But here we go. Detail going to the inside. Can he make the move happen? On the brakes early to try to make it clean. Slaunch able to get on the brakes later because he's on the softs. A little bit of contact, but Slaunch fighting back on the outside. And he does a great job. Oh, comes down, is able to get in front and shut the door at the perfect time. Great defense from Slaunch, taking advantage of the better grip that he has on those softs. And that's exactly what he needed to do. But Detail is still fighting back, getting a really nice apex right there. But where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you make this move happen? A little bit of contact. He needs to try to force Slaunch wide. Luke coming around the last corner. And here we go, going to be taking the win for the sweep at Hakone. But where does the rest of the field line up? Roman going to be second, as you could imagine, right, with that big gap. And it looks like Slaunch will hold on to it. He's going to take that podium, take that first podium of the season. Detail going to take fourth. Matt fifth. Opix will take sixth. And Armada, again, still looking for sponsorship. Nade shot dropping him. Just brutal from Nade. And yeah, still trying to find sponsorship after that. So yeah, somebody, come on, it's time. Wendy's. No, I'm kidding. But that was a joke, not sponsored. Anyways, but yeah, there is the race. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Going back to back on Hakone, but a great battle for second. Roman is able to take it, and Slaunch gets his first podium on the season. Was probably hoping it happened a little bit sooner, but yeah, was able to recover from those crazy Homestead races and a lag out. Gets his first podium of the season. Hope you guys enjoyed the race, and see you for week 3.